Good morning, friends. Welcome to our live stream. And I'm reaching out to you from my library, and I'm reading a very important book which tells us about some of the important incidents in our history. And today is October 12th. So let us find out what is so important that we must remember. Well, the first incident is before Christ. It is on October 12th, 539 BC. The army of Cyrus the Great of Persia takes over Babylon and converted Babylon in a historic city that we know of. Today, Babylon does not exist. Only ruins can be seen in the present day Iraq. And it was a major cultural center of the ancient world, and this was ruled by Cyrus the Great. So this is something which happened today on October 12th, 539 BC. Let's move to the next one. Well, this is from England. The King John of England loses his crown jewels, basically the contraption that the kings wear on their head. So those are called the crown jewels. So in a flood, believe it or not, while crossing a swamp, his wagon was hit by a flash flood. During that incident, King John lost his crown along with the crown jewels, and that would have been very embarrassing. I mean, considering the fictitious power that people draw because of certain symbolism, this would have been very difficult for King John to explain to his citizens. Nevertheless, October 12th, 1216, this incident happened. All right, let's move to the next one. This is regarding Christopher Columbus. When he started his journey to find India, while traveling towards the westerly direction instead of going to the east, because India was on the east of Europe. In Vasco da Gama, his contemporary, was attempting to reach India and trying to identify a sea route from the east. Christopher Columbus applied his mind, and he said, look, earth is round, so if I go from the west, I can probably reach India faster, much before than Vasco da Gama. So he actually convinced the Queen of Spain. Even though he was a Portuguese, his entire trip was funded and sponsored by Queen Isabella of Spain. So in 1492, on October 12th, finally he touched land on the west side, and he thought that he has actually reached Asia, and he named this land which he just landed on San Salvador. But actually it was one of the Caribbean islands, and he continued to think that this is the East Asian land that he has landed, and this was a Caribbean island, and beyond the Caribbean islands was the main continent of America. So this is something which happened today, and October 12th, 1492. All right, let's move to the next one. Well, British colonized many places across the world, and India was colonized. We know that a lot of countries in Africa either were British or French or Germans or Spain. All over the world, that was the era of exploration and colonization. So first colonize, then explore. That was the modus operandi, in that order. So French and British troops basically united together to fight the Chinese, and they defeated them. Today, on October 12th, 1860, the combined forces of British and French troops enter Beijing and then colonize China. All right, so let's move to the next one. Well, again about British colonization, this time in Kabul, in Afghanistan, where in 1879, on October 12th, British troops finally defeated the Afghan forces and occupy Kabul and then colonizes Afghanistan. So this is also on October 12th, but in a different year, 1879. All right, move to the next one. Well, we all know that the Americans actually are credited to develop a workable model of submarine, even though the first submarine came from Europe as an experiment. But then this idea caught on, and the first army based submarine was built by a US inventor. His name was Philip Holland. And while trying to sink one of the British ship, he actually lost his life in his own invention, and that submarine was never located for many years. It got submerged along with all the occupants. About 7 sailors, in addition to Philip Holland, lost their life in this incident. But later, they were in the 20th century. The wreck was found and then airlifted, and was then put in a museum as the first workable model of a submarine. Later, in the year 1900, on October 12th, the first modern submarine by US Navy was launched, and they actually named it USS Holland to give honor to the inventor John Philip Holland. And this happened on October 12th, 1900, in the 20th century. So let's move to the next one. Well, believe it or not, the White House was not called White House always. This was renamed by Theodore Roosevelt. He was the president, and in 1901, on October 12th, he renamed his presidential house as the White House. But before that, for almost 300 years, this building was called as Executive Mansion. And Theodore Roosevelt, the president of the United States, named it as White House in 1901 on October 12th. All right, let's move to the next one. Well, we all know this is a remarkable sight, the statue of Jesus Christ overlooking the city of Rio de Janeiro. And in fact, if you have gone to Rio, you can actually go to this small hill and probably buy the ticket and climb the statue itself. And if you're daring enough, you can actually walk on the arms of the statue. So this is a remarkable piece. This statue was inaugurated in the year 1931, and this statue is called Christ the Redeemer. And actually, this point gives a picturesque view of Rio as a city, and this area is remarkable. In fact, it has a very good view of the entire landscape, and therefore this is one of the most visited landmark in the country of Brazil. This statue is a work of engineering marvel, and it was created by the engineer Heitor da Silva Costa, and this was inaugurated on October 12th, 1931. Let's move to the next one. Well, this is about the bust of Napoleon, as it is called. It's basically the bust of Napoleon, the statue, which was carved in by a very famous sculptor by the name of Auguste Rodin. And he has many sculptors in Europe to his credit. And for so long, somehow this bust, which was very popular and very famous, as you can see this statue, you can see the details are very intrinsically carved into the marble stone by the master sculptor. And this statue was stolen. And this remained hidden for a very long time, almost like 150 years. Finally, it was found in 2017 on October 12th, and then basically put in the museum. And it was valued at that point in time, back then in 2017, its worth was $4 million US. So this is something which happened today, and some of the important incident that happened on October 12th. So friends, thanks for joining me live in my library. I hope you find some of these incidents interesting. Some of these incidents gives us a little bit of teachings. So join me back tomorrow live, and I will bring the historic incident that happened tomorrow on October 13th. So please take care, and I will catch you tomorrow. Bye bye for today.